Okay, Quinn, this is a wrap-up for the 8-week case study we did, the athletic recovery case study. So if we can get a recap of the goals, challenges you were trying to get over when we first started.
Sure. Challenges I was having were mostly with my squat. Just trying to comfortably get down in the bottom of my squat without having to worry about my knees coming in, or there was just a certain, especially my left hip, I had something going on where there was just a level of tension and tightness that wasn't allowing me to get down where I needed to be. And my goals for that were just to get rid of that, not have to worry about that tension in the bottom of my squat, and to be able to feel comfortable with heavy weight on my back, and be able to push my knees out and have my hips feel opening up like normal. You know, I hadn't felt that in a long time. So that was, it's pretty simple.
And was there anything specific that was holding you back from reaching that goal?
I think just the right treatment. You know, I was training, I was stretching, you know, but I wasn't getting it. Just nothing was hitting it. Nothing was getting deep enough to touch that. So I don't think I was doing anything wrong per se, but I just don't think I wasn't getting the right stuff. I needed something else. I needed some other kind of treatment.
And what was frustrating? What was the most frustrating part about not reaching that goal?
Well, just that. You know, you train so much, and you think that if I just stretch every day and I keep working at it and I keep squatting, you think it would loosen up, and it just wasn't. It would get worse. It would feel better. It would get worse, but it wouldn't be a roller coaster up. It would just kind of be a static line. If anything, it was getting worse the more I trained. So it was just frustrating, knowing that I have these competitions and I have these goals in mind, and I can't do it, not because I'm not strong enough, but just because my mobility is so bad.
And what was your perception of me, of the approach that I was suggesting before we started?
Well, it's tough because I put 350 pounds on my back, and I squat that, and it's so aggressive and so much of a load, and then you'll have me on the table, Bill, and you'll set my leg down so gently, and it almost feels like if I get up too fast, I'm going to ruin what you just did, but it's not like that at all. After every session and the following week of training, I just felt more open, and I was able to just squat down on like 12-inch boxes and be fine, which I hadn't been able to do before the 8-week program. And it was stuff like that. I had taken your seminar previously. I think it was a 2-hour seminar, like a Saturday or something. So I knew the stuff worked, but I was skeptical on if it could work in the middle of a training program. When I'm putting myself through such stress, my body's through such stress. But it worked. It worked to a charm.
And how did your perceptions change as we worked together over the 8-week case study?
Well, like I said, it just, the more sessions we had together, the better I felt. The proof's in the pudding, the better you feel, the more trusting you're going to be. After every session, I always felt better, but that kind of goes without saying. You should feel better after the session, but it was like I said, the following week of training, my squat would feel better. I'd feel more loose at the bottom, more able to push my knees out and engage my hips, and less, pain-free.
And what changed most for you? What were some of the results that you got?
Really just being able to sit down deep into my squat. It was always a question for me, my left hip, especially when I would get down, as my hips would tilt. My right hip would tilt down and my left hip would tilt up because my left hip was tighter. And now it's even. I can squat on a 12-inch box, like I said, and both hips hit the box at the same time. And that wasn't the case before. My right hip would hit before because I was so tight on my left side, and that's just not the case. I'm a lot looser and a lot more balanced now.
And what other goals or challenges did you get help with that you hadn't planned on?
My thoracic spine, my back and my shoulders. We worked with probably the first half of the 8 weeks we worked on just on my squat, my normal body squat. Just squatting down, no arms, not worrying about that. But then the second half we worked more on worked more on my overhead squat. So that's a whole other dynamic. You put your arms in the air, and now you're engaging your erectors, you're engaging your thoracic spine and your shoulders. And so I was super, super tight there. And you worked on that for 3 or 4 weeks, and I just felt a big difference in my being able to control my back and my thoracic spine and my shoulders a lot better.
And how is my approach? How I worked with you different from other things that you had worked with?
Well, it's totally different. You know, I think the only kind of treatment I've had really are chiropractors and massage therapists, and you know, chiropractors are wrenching you, wrenching your neck, wrenching your hips. Massage therapists are digging their elbows in. You know, it's a lot of tension and stress that you're going through, and a lot of pain, really. And with you, it's obviously the opposite. You want to be tension free, and you don't want that. You want that discomfort to be gone. You want to be in a place of comfort, and that's just a totally different scenario. You know, it's just a whole other world. It's exactly the opposite of a massage therapist or chiropractor, in my opinion, because you're expecting the discomfort when you go to those places. And with you, it was almost, you know, I could almost take a nap. It was so relaxing, and it's just crazy to think that can actually loosen you up, and it did.
And would you recommend the work that I did, the approach, to a friend?
Well, absolutely. I mean, it worked for me, and it worked for Ben and Nathan and Kat. I think the biggest thing was just for people to buy into it. You know, like I said, I think the conception now is just that you have to cause pain and discomfort to see change. And that may be the case sometimes, but with what we learned with this case study, it's not. There's another approach. And so I'd absolutely refer this to a friend and tell them to give it a try and stick with it for a few weeks, and I guarantee they see change.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, no problem.